guys, welcome to another video. Today we're checking out the SpongeBob kits. There are two new kits. There's one that's like kids room and create a sim, and then the other one's furniture. And straight away, I posted on Instagram, I was like, this is not for me. Like, this is a note from me, just because I do like SpongeBob, but I'm not such a mega fan that I want it in my Sims game. And I'm also really not usually a fan of the Sims breaking the fourth wall. And what I mean by that is when The Sims brings in stuff from real life brands into the game, because I feel like it breaks that world of The Sims for me. So yeah, that's why I like when language is written in Simlish only. I wouldn't want like actual languages in my game, you know, stuff like that. So that's one thing. However, I will say if this was Care Bears, something I love, I would be like, oh my God, two of my favorite things. So I guess I can also see a SpongeBob fan would be like, oh my God, I love this. And I do think it is actually quite jarring the way they've gone about implementing it in the game, which we'll talk about soon. The Sims has done brand collabs in the past. In The Sims 3, they were a lot more obvious. Katy Perry Sweet Treats, Diesel stuff, Fiat, Ford, Honda, Toyota collabs, H&M. They even did an IKEA collab, which is pretty cool. And I think soft drinks, I think there actually was a Care Bears collab with one of the other Sims games. And those were really obvious. But in The Sims 4, it's been a little bit more subtle, which I really appreciated. Like there was Moschino, which did have some bold Moschino branding, but I think from memory, it was simified. There was a bit of a subtlety to it. They did the MAC collab with makeup, MeUndies too. And then the most obvious one was Star Wars. A lot of people really didn't like. Some Star Wars fans loved it. I didn't mind it only because a lot of the build and buy items, you don't know they're Star Wars. So I've actually used them and enjoyed them, but the actual gameplay was not for me at all. So yeah, we're gonna look at SpongeBob through the lens of what have they done in the past? What have we done in The Sims 4, and why is this maybe different? Also, a lot of people have been saying it's really bad quality, so I'm interested to see that with my own eyes, and I've also spoken to a custom content creator to ask their thoughts on that from someone who actually makes content that's Max's match for The Sims. So let's check it out. The Sims 4 SpongeBob Kids Room Kit. So this is going to be a mix of Create a Sim and Build by items. So in Create a Sim, there's 7 new items, and it is very, whoa, SpongeBob. Like the actual outfit, like the shape and silhouette of these clothes look fine to me. Like they look like the usual quality in the game, but the graphics are pretty jarring because we don't have illustrations in the game that are really this detailed. So it really doesn't look like a Sims version of SpongeBob at all. And that's something that I really don't like actually, because I don't feel like it matches the game at all aesthetically. And I think this kind of thing is a little more subtle than say this. So yeah, I am actually really surprised that they've gone so bold with this. Like that is not great either. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, this is not working with the graphics in the game at all. Then we have the pants. They're kind of a similar thing. I do like this does look different to me to the game graphics, but at least it's not as obviously SpongeBob. This looks more Sims to me. Like I feel like they've done a good job with these more subtle swatches, I suppose. Like this works. That totally works. But yeah, it's quite bold. And then the shoes, you've got some different characters. I mean, I don't mind the shoes as much because they're not as jarring. I like the Squidward shoes. It's still weird to have it in my game. And then there's obviously versions of these for kids as well as a little dress here. Again, pretty bold graphics, although you do get a few that actually look more like The Sims. But then you have some with the actual cartoon graphics, and that's when it's pretty bold. So within this same kit, we also have some items from build mode. So we'll look at these indoors because the lighting can be a bit easier to see items. So there's 2 wallpapers. I don't mind this wallpaper. Like this looks Sims to me, so I like this. I think the graphics work in the game. Like I don't mind that. This confuses me a little bit. This doesn't look so much like Sims, but it's not blatantly SpongeBob. So yeah, I just feel like it doesn't quite suit the game. Because I think the problem we have here is aesthetically, like the Sims graphics are more simplified. If you look at some of these other wallpapers, there's a softness to a lot of them. whereas this one looks a little more, it's just more detailed, really. This is probably the most detailed, or one of the most detailed wallpapers we have in the game. Yeah, the illustration is different. I could see myself not using this wallpaper because it looks a little bit too different to the rest of the items in the game and doesn't really feel like Max's Match. That's at least my thoughts on the wallpaper. This base game wallpaper is probably a little bit more closer to the SpongeBob, maybe. And you can see there's a bit of pixelation and blurriness to some of these graphics that maybe aren't as sharp as the Sims ones. It's not terrible though. But let's check out the actual other furniture. Okay, so we have a bed. The actual bed looks like really nice quality. The shape of the bed, I appreciate. You know, we've got some swatches without SpongeBob, but the SpongeBob, you know, it's there. Yeah, I probably won't use these, but I do like these other swatches. Like I can see myself using some of these, like the plain ones. But yeah, the graphics don't look great. They look a little more alpha, so not Max's Match, which basically means when people talk about alpha and Max's Match suits the aesthetic and the style of Sims packs so well that it could have been made by the Sims, whereas alpha custom content, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's a different aesthetic style to The Sims, so it has a bit of a different look to it. However, when it's actually coming from The Sims, such as this pack, I personally don't want it to look like alpha because it's officially the game. It looks like we've got a bit of boucle texture on this, which is nice. That's cute. I like this chair. Yeah, it's like a clamshell. But yeah, again, the graphics are pretty jarring in some ways. But yeah, I don't mind that. What have we got here? Coral nightstand. That looks pretty cute. You can match the bedspread if you want. I already want to change this away from SpongeBob, but I'm gonna leave it there for the purpose of the video. Then we have our desk. I'm just gonna look at the back of it too to just see how it all looks. What a shame SpongeBob is on the love heart one because I would have really liked to use the love heart one. But, you know, when it's a little more subtle, it's a lot better. But I wish, you know what I wish? I wish they had made like a Sims version of SpongeBob and Patrick. Like still so you could tell it was them, but it was like within the Sims universe. So a simplified version. But I imagine with licensing, maybe I guess they didn't want to do that. But that would have been nice. I think that would have been the way to ideally do it. But all the actual items, like whoever's actually made the mesh of these items, they all look good. I think it's just the graphics. Then you've got this, which again, a bit more subtle and looks like Sims. So I quite like the aquarium, how they've done that. Oh, the jungle gym. So this is a playground. Oh my gosh. I don't know about this one. This looks, oh no. It's really good. Like the ship's good until you get the SpongeBob on it. Oh dear. Is there a version without SpongeBob on it? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, yeah, I'm never using that. Then we've got some decals. These aren't too bad because they're not a big hero item, but if you're into SpongeBob, like it'll be fun to use these. And the Patrick toy, that's not too bad. Those are pretty cute. Like I don't mind these. If only the other stuff was a bit more subtle. Then we've got the rug here. The rug's cute. Some nice swatches there too. Yeah, the rug's cool. Then we've got a Gary wall clock. See, I feel like this looks really good. I wish they did everything like this. Like if you know it's Gary, but still suits the game. And then we've got a bookshelf. Squidward looks not too bad there. Yeah, I don't mind that either. And then the barnacle bureau. What is this, a wardrobe, I guess? Kind of the same, lot of swatches again. Sandy toy, the toy chest. I like the love heart ones. The Krusty Krab play chest. I mean, this is kind of cool. I like this. An activity table. I also like this item. That looks good. The many faces of Gary. See, this is super cute. And then the dreaming of jellyfish fields. And that's a really cool light as well. So I guess for me, I think a lot of these items are really good in the first kit. I think there's nothing wrong with the actual like quality of the items here. They all look like Max's, but it's the graphics that are like very literally SpongeBob cartoon that are a problem for me, and a real shame actually, because it just doesn't look great in the game. It kind of looks like they're just not meant to go together. Okay, let's move on to the next pack. But I am surprised because quite a few of these items I would use. I would just not use the ones with the big crazy cartoon show graphics that don't suit the game. I do like the Gary clock and the Gary toy. Like I feel like those look good. I don't mind the Patrick toy or the SpongeBob toy. Like they're okay. I think they could have maybe softened the SpongeBob toy a little bit. So the next pack is SpongeBob's house kit. And you can actually also get the two of them in a bundle and get a few bonus items. Let's just see. Okay, so there is a room here that you can build straight from pre-made rooms if you want to get an idea of what you can create. And it looks like we have pieces to build his house, which is so random. Okay, so I guess if we wanted to build his pineapple house, you could do it in a number of ways, but let's say we're just gonna make a quick curved pineapple like this. My pineapple doesn't look like a pineapple, you guys. Okay, this is a bad pineapple. I actually really feel like eating pineapple now. Let's go to the gallery and get someone else's. Okay, here we go. This is by Lauren2. Shout out, who has done a very good job of building a SpongeBob house. Okay, so this is the kind of thing you could build, and obviously the pineapple top is here. We've also got a new roof. Okay, so you could build something unrelated to SpongeBob with this roofing. It's not obviously SpongeBob if you don't want it to be, I guess. And then there's also a matching wallpaper. Not a whole lot of swatches. This is interesting though, this like cartoony style, which I actually think does work with The Sims. It's kind of interesting. There looks like we've got some new windows, which could be handy for some different builds. Like I could see Dr. Gluon doing some really cool like ship build or something with this. I like the rust too. So yeah, that's cool. And then it's got this cartoony style, which is quite interesting. There's also a chimney on the side here. I'm not really sure when else you could really use this. Oh, actually no, you could definitely be creative with that. Do like a steampunk build or something more whimsical. And then we've got a door here, which is kind of cool. And these are some interesting flowers that I don't know if they should be in the landscaping area, but I guess it is kind of like landscaping in SpongeBob's world. So I can see why they did that. But I reckon in The Sims, it makes more sense for these to be decor. And it looks like there's also an interior door in a few different colors as well, which could be handy with some fun builds too. Let's have a look at the interior items. Gonna build another box and put some lights in. Okay, so we have a new wallpaper, which is cool. I think this is interesting. Again, I feel like the graphics are just slightly too detailed for some of these to be truly Maxis match, but some of them are really cute. Like I really like this one because it's a bit more simplified. And I feel like this wallpaper could be really interesting actually in a mid-century build. Then we obviously have the wallpaper we saw on the exterior just before, this pineapple one. And then we also have steel plating, which I can't really see myself using, but you never know. You never know. I'm going to go back to this wallpaper because I quite like it. And then this flooring is cool. So this is described as sun-soaked sand, but to me it looks like in the world of Sims, like paint splatters on a concrete floor. So that's kind of cool too. Again, I don't know how often I would use it, but yeah. But something different. Okay, then we have a few other items. This bed here. I actually can't remember what his bedroom or house is like from the show. So I don't know how similar these are to the show. So coming from someone who kind of has no idea, this looks like Sims to me, but it just seems really weird. Some barrel chairs, which could be fun in some nautical themed house. We've also got an inflatable love seat. Okay. A dining table, which is kind of cool. That's actually a cool dining table. Hook, line, and sinker side table, which is interesting. Imagine accidentally like kicking your foot into this. That would hurt so badly. A guitar. Goofy Goober guitar. This is quite ornamental for Sims, and I don't really like the GG letters on there because it breaks the fourth wall of it not being Simlish, but I don't know, I guess that's from the show. It doesn't really look Sims to me though. Little sky flower, could be cute in like a kid's room. We have some SpongeBob artwork, which I think this works a bit better. Like this works because it looks kind of Maxis. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't mind the artwork. Like, and that's really good too. All hail the magic conch shell. This other wall item, cute lamp, a diver's helmet TV. This is pretty cool. That's actually sick. I like that. A record player, a foghorn alarm. So I guess your Sims can wake up to this. And then the bubble vents, which we saw on the side of the house. So are these items I really want and desire in my game? Not really, no, but I do like this wallpaper. I think the nautical theme can be fun if you're building like a nautical kind of house or a kid's nautical theme room. But I feel like this kit is a lot more subtle than the kids' room kit, where they've used graphics from the actual show. So I think one kit was definitely better than the other in terms of that. So what do we think, you guys? I'm really curious to hear in the comments down below. The bedroom pack is a lot more jarring for me personally, just because I really don't think the graphics from the show work within The Sims 4. Just aesthetically, it looks so out of place. It isn't Max's match. And I think it looks much better in the SpongeBob's house kit because you see things that are more subtle and some of the house furniture is more, like, it just is already Max's match. It's easier to blend into the game than the character design. So I think a lot of these are actually really cute and fun if you're a fan of SpongeBob. And like this was pretty cool as well. But when we start getting into these graphics, it just looks really odd in the game. And I feel like the Sims would never, do graphics in this style or as detailed. I did ask Harry about the actual quality of the items. Harry, also known as Hey Harry, is a really amazing custom content creator who's very good at making things look Max's match to a T. And because she's got such a great eye, I asked her about it and she said the graphics on the furniture and Creator Sim look pixelated. I think it's just a case of trying to display a high pixel density graphic at the game's lower pixel density. So that's also why it looks weird, because it doesn't like literally fit into the game graphics probably. So yeah, I totally agree with Hey Harry. I think she's really explained it and articulated it very well. It just doesn't suit the game. And when it doesn't suit the game, it makes it feel like a bit of a cash grab, or like the Sims haven't had input creatively into the aesthetic. And it's kind of like a brand has said, hey, can we just put our brand in your game? Like, can you just slap it on a few things? Like, that's what it can feel like when it's done like this. Whereas when it's done more subtly, like in the other items, it's like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. And you can appreciate it more. So are the kits for me? No, not really. I'll use a few items here and there. But even if it was a Care Bears collab, something I really like, I wouldn't want literally the Care Bears artwork in the game. I would want to recognize the shapes of the Care Bears, the silhouettes, the stars, the rainbows, those recognizable elements from a show that literally aren't the branding slapped into the game. But I think that's really what it is. The collabs that work are more subtle. There's more of a blend of the two brands collaborating, and it feels less like advertisement and more like creating something for the players. And that's what I think the key is to brand collabs. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm curious to hear if you're a big SpongeBob fan, if you love this, or as a SpongeBob fan, do you wish it looked a little bit more like The Sims? Or if there ever was a brand collab, which brand collab would you want to see? Mine would be IKEA, Care Bears, something like West Elm or Pottery Barn. I don't know, interior design stuff would be cool, but definitely in a Sims style. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're in the world, and I can't wait to speak to you all soon. Dag dag!